Alright guys, welcome to another day of the vlog. We got Jackson, we got Jasmine, and we got Bree. I'm like Bree. Brianna K Fitness in the house. For this episode of The Build, today we're in Boston. Now, that's crazy. Alright, something about I've always wanted since I was a kid, like when I saw dogs, I always wanted to really train dog that could like do random stuff and just like, it was like just such a cool thing, like seeing Air Bud as a kid. I don't know, that's such a cool thing to see a dog do something and you're like, damn, that's sick. Anyway, we're gonna go take the dogs for some training. Now, the problem is there's no fields or anything open. Every single park right now is closed. For a good reason, obviously, and we're wearing masks and stuff, and we're trying to keep our distance from people. So, I found this little spot. It's on a golf course, but it's like the hidden little end of it. And hopefully we don't get kicked out. It's pretty much my life story.
So your life story.
It is.
So you've been doing this since you were a kid.
Yeah. It started with skateboarding, then taking photos, then car stuff. Now it's training dogs. Seems a little uneventful, but so let's head there, and then after I'll show you guys some of the new stuff on the E92. So basically, what's going on other than what I'm talking about with the dog training and all that stuff is we're actually having a clothing launch. Now, it's not men's clothing, it's actually women's clothing. We run a company called Bmw Collection. I think I've talked to you a little bit about it previously, but I do all the tech side of it. So shot all the photos. That's what we took along with the road trips. Now I'm going to be today like kind of revamping the site, adjusting things. All the tech stuff is really what I focus on. Alright, I'm all about modifying cars, but when you put racing stripes on a Corolla, stop, sit, good girl.
Oh, good.
Heel. Jackson getting jealous over there?
Yeah, he wants to
Such
learn.
a happy dog, oh buddy.
He loves to learn.
A happy dog that loves to learn so much. Good. It's cool because this is also really, this is like, we're trying to get him to be off leash. A lot of people's dogs, they can just like let him go. Some people's dogs. Our dogs, like, they just bolt. Like they have a lot of energy and not that this makes a difference. They're very smart breed, so they just want to go wander. So yeah, I don't know. So Jazzy was rescued from South Korea, and like she just kind of like, you throw a ball and she's frantic. Like she just kind of like, she literally looks like a car, like you turn off traction control and she's losing traction. So right now we're practicing like throwing a ball and having her wait until we say a command to do it. And she's just learning, like, dogs are like kids, like they're different. Each one's different, like each person is different, right? Like you have to take a different learning strategy or a different teaching strategy with each one. And it's just cool to see them actually learn stuff and get really excited. All right, now to the car stuff. So there's a lot of stuff coming on this car and the Z Farm as well that I just kind of want to talk about. So let's do it. First, just for the sake of it. I just wish this car sounded better. All right. So I think maintenance-wise, there's a lot of stuff I want to do. I've been kind of postponing a lot of stuff, and stuff's come up just like anything. I don't know, anything in life, right? You're like, oh, I want to do this, and then 75 things happen, and eventually you're not doing that thing that you were talking about doing. So we're here. So right now this engine needs some love. We're going to go ahead and get, I'm not going to do an intake. I was debating on whether or not to do the intake, but after kind of looking at it, reading up on the forums, this elbow right here, there's not a lot of room to actually increase air. It's a slight thing. There's basically, it goes to like right here right now, and there's a slight thing to where you just increase it a little bit. It's supposed to add about 8 horsepower, but the reality is for $300-400, I just don't feel like it's worth it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get another filter. I believe the brand was, I can't remember the brand I went with right now. It starts with a B. I'm blanking on it though. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do, I do have a valve cover, the valve cover gasket is leaking. So I do need to fix that at some point, because I do notice I have some oil leaking. So we're gonna have to address that later, but that is on the list of things to fix. It hasn't been a huge thing. I've had to put a quart of oil in maybe once after like 6 months. I don't drive the car that much, so 6 months isn't that long to not change the oil in this car. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna drain the coolant in this car, get some new coolant. And the last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna have to take all this apart, which would have been nice if we were getting a new intake, I guess, right? But we're gonna have to take the air box apart and everything, take this out, and I'm actually gonna be changing these spark plugs. Now, BMW recommends every 37,000 miles, but I have no idea when the last owner changed anything on this car. I bought the car with 59, I have 74 now, so I hope they changed the spark plugs. I assume they did, because by now I would most likely have an issue. And actually, I could probably check the maintenance on this car. I did buy it at a BMW pre-owned dealership, so I could probably check the maintenance and see if they changed it. But just to be safe, if they did change it, I'm at 74, so I'm literally right on that line of perfectly lining up with the maintenance for the spark plugs. So I want to get that before I have any issues with misfiring, anything like that. So that'll be on the list. I ordered the parts already, but it's hard when you get a car like this because there's just so much stuff you want to do to it. And naturally, one thing about this car is the engine's great. There's not a lot you can really do to this engine to really increase performance other than going forced induction. You know, you can do little things here and there, the pulleys, all that stuff, to give you minor gains, but nothing really major. So I think as of right now, my mods are really going to consist of kind of cleaning up everything, getting everything kind of dialed in, getting some preventative maintenance done, and just really cleaning up the car. I want to, at some point in the next maybe 2-3 months, I'm going to go ahead and get some new headlights here from Bay Optics. I love the stock headlights. I think they look great for the year, but now they're starting to look a little dated in my opinion. So I really want to get something in there that doesn't date the car. And I just get some new lenses. I can just feel these lenses have been they're beat. I mean, they're, you know, the car being almost 10 years old, they look pretty damn good for a 10-year-old lens. And then after that on my list is to get the bumper repainted. It sucks. I showed you guys a while ago that I had someone rewrap my front bumper when this car was orange. And they actually used adhesive, and I'm not sure how much adhesive they used, but I actually pulled paint when I pulled the bumper off. So you can see this down here. Let's see if it'll focus. So down in that little corner, I actually pulled paint. And then another thing I've been playing with is the Bmw Roundels. I've been thinking about actually painting the blue and painting that red to match the Brembas, or even using a wrap. But if I use a wrap, I really want to make sure that the edges are clean and everything, so you don't see like you don't go up to this right here and then you can actually see like it lifted up top. That is something though that I feel like would tie this wheel together, just having the blue. But at the same time, I don't really mind too much that the blue, gold, and red of the Brembo. So once all that gets straightened out, spark plugs, coolant, oil change as well. We're gonna take it over to 3RA. They're gonna do a quick oil change for us. Once all that gets dialed in, then it's really on to getting some more driving. I would love to do a track day in this car once the coronavirus goes away, you know, and once we can get back to reality a little bit. So maybe sometime next year. I hope it's sooner than that, but let's be realistic here. I would love to throw the 18s back on this car. So I have a set of 18-inch wheels that are on some PS4s. I'd like to maybe get some pilot cups for the track, maybe something cheaper, that I can just go through at practice. But I'd love to put the 18s back on, raise the suspension up a little bit, and get some good seat time behind this car and really enjoy it. Now, at the same time, I'm hesitant because I don't want to throttle on the car and break it. But let's be real, I want to enjoy this thing. Like, I didn't buy this car to only look at it. I love the element of show cars. I think they're fun. But just watching track videos gets me enthusiastic about just getting some seat time, getting on the track. So maybe we'll get a different car. Maybe we'll get a different car for the track. I have some ideas. There's some cool stuff in the future that I'm kind of working out right now and seeing if we can pull off. But you guys will like it.